Good morning, friends. This is Carrie from Stamp with CT. I want to welcome you this morning to our Facebook Live. It's good to be back with y'all today, and I'm really excited to make a special fall card this morning. So I will wait just a little bit to see if anybody is able to join me live, but if you're watching the replay, so glad you're here. Good morning, Judy. Hope you're having a good day. We're going to have a little crafty fun for a few minutes this morning. Have a super busy day, but I love to take a little bit of time to come and craft with you and show you kind of what's going on my craft table this morning. Good, I'm glad, Judy. So we are going to be using some products from the Gilded Autumn Suite. And they are some that I am already just absolutely loving. And this morning we're making a card kind of patterned after this special card that I've created. And I'll tell you why this one is special in just a little bit. So you can see there's no naked envelope. I went ahead and decorated with that little strip of houndstooth paper. And this is one that I'm going to hand deliver, so that's why I was able to use, I think that's about 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inch piece of designer series paper on the envelope. And then let me bring the card a little bit closer so you can see how I decorated it here. So this Gilded Autumn paper is absolutely gorgeous. Let me grab my little sample swatch book and show it to you. So it has, let me think, Cajun Craze, mint macaron, early espresso, crumb cake, vanilla, and then gold and copper foiling. So some of the pieces have gold foiling, some have copper, and like this one has both. And you can see this is beautiful, beautiful fall paper. I've really enjoyed using it. So every piece of this has one side that has foiling. So one of the little tips, and I know I've told you this before, but I think it's worth mentioning again, is I love to use the 3x4 pieces of designer series paper when I'm designing. A lot of times I'm making multiples of cards, and so it really stretches the designer series paper, but especially when it has foiling, I like to do that. So let me bring in this gorgeous piece of 12x12. So basically I'm just coming in and cutting it 4 and 4 and then 3, 3, and 3. So it gives me 12 pieces that are 3x4 to use in this center piece. And then a lot of times I will mat it with either 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch larger mat. Like I did here today, it's 1/8 inch larger. So it just gives a very small border, but I think it helps that paper kind of pop. You know, using this paper on the card base, it takes a lot of designer series paper. So especially when you're doing multiples, this is one of my favorite design tricks so that I really stretch that paper. Okay, let's get started. We are using a very vanilla card base this morning, which I tend to grab the very vanilla when it's fall and using it with those fall colors. So this one is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we'll just burnish that score line with the bone folder. And then I will put measurements. I'll go back and edit this description of this video, but I'll put the measurements in there for you. But the designer series paper is just a little bit smaller than the early espresso mat. So what I did this time, it's the very same supplies. You'll actually see it's the same paper, but I'm using the other side of it for the card we're creating this morning. And then this paper is directional, so we're going to change the direction of the card, but it's still going to work just fine. It's the very same layout. So I love it when I can show you, you know, just little differences like that that you can use in your crafting. So a lot of times if you learn those layouts, then you're able to switch things up. And sometimes just using different papers makes such a difference. See if I can get this lined up. Like I said, it's a very small border. Just a 1/16 of an inch, but I think that that early espresso back behind there really makes that designer series paper pop, so I thought that was pretty. Isn't that gorgeous with that foiling? Oh, I love it. And then we'll go ahead and adhere that layer down. If I can keep my glue going this morning, you guys. I cannot believe it is the middle of September already. I don't know about you, but it feels like the past 6 months have just flown by. Such crazy times that we're living in. Okay, so that's already pretty, isn't it? So then let's go ahead and put this piece. Such a beautiful fall paper. I love it. It sure is hard to put glue on that pretty paper though, isn't it? Get this matted. That early espresso is such a great fall color too. Nice rich brown. Okay. I don't think I'm going to adhere that down just yet. Let me go ahead and pull in some pieces that I cut earlier. I did want to show you in this Gilded Autumn, there's also these little acorns, and let me bring it a little bit closer, these little trinkets. I don't think I'm going to use one today, but they are super cute. And I know, Judy, when I sent your packet the other day, I didn't send you one, and I apologize again for that. I knew we had messed up, but you did a beautiful job on your projects. So I've already stamped my sentiment, and let me show you which stamp set that comes from. So as part of the Gilded Autumn Suite is this beautiful autumn stamp set. It's lovely, and that's where our greeting is coming from. Life is better with you. And then there's also a punch pack, and it has a maple leaf, an oak leaf, and then the acorn. So these punches you can use like I am today, where I'm actually just punching from cardstock or foil paper, or you can also line them up with some of the designer series paper, or you can stamp the images and then punch them out. So however you want to do it. So I did go ahead and stamp this, and I used, let me find those dies. I used the Tasteful Labels dies, this one here, for my sentiment this morning. And for some reason, that one just, I don't know, these dies just really have a masculine feel to me. So I really like using them when it's a little bit more masculine card. And then I have another set of dies that I want to show you. And this set actually carried over from the last catalog, and it's called Gathered Leaves. So these leaves are really, really pretty because they emboss as well as cut when you run them through. So one pass through your die cut machine and you get the beautiful effect that I'm about to show you. And I hope that this will show up on camera. But the veining of the leaves is embossed in there. So it looks really pretty. And then, let's see here. So this is my dilemma. On this card, because it has a little bit darker background with the mint macaron, that very vanilla sentiment really popped. But over here, because it has the very vanilla background, it doesn't. So there's a couple of things that I want to try with y'all and see what I like best. And I think the first thing is we're going to wrap some linen thread around several times. That was probably too many times, but that's okay. And then I thought about just popping this up with that linen thread behind it. I don't know. My other idea, let me get this linen thread off. My other idea, I went ahead and grabbed a sponge dauber, and I thought about just go ahead and inking the edges of the sentiment. And I'm kind of thinking that's the way we're gonna go. So let me grab that and just use a little bit of early espresso ink. Yeah, I think this is gonna do the trick. Just kind of make this sentiment stand out a little bit more. I tend to kind of go in cycles with different things that I do, and I've been inking the edges of papers a lot more lately. That's something I learned years ago when I first started paper crafting, but you can always pull out those older techniques again and kind of refresh your projects that way. Okay, I think I like that. So let me go ahead now and adhere this piece down. And y'all, of course, I left my glue open. Let's see. Oh, we're living right today. It's working. We'll go ahead and put this on the front. Let's see if I can get this somewhat straight. That looked pretty. I'm so ready for fall. And I'm doing my very best to get y'all ready too. If you follow my Facebook business page, I'm posting some of the gorgeous projects that my team members submitted for a creative challenge last month. So check that out this week. We have some really, really talented, awesome crafters on our team. And we have a lot of fun with our creative challenge each month. We have a theme for it, and then they just submit their projects, and we do a prize by random draw because there's no way that I could pick a favorite. They're always really good projects. They do such beautiful quality work. So I thought this month I would go ahead and share those with you. They work so hard on them. They do a beautiful job on their photography as well. So check out my Facebook page this week to see those projects. Oops, and share some love with them. Oh, that didn't get that backing off. Let me try that again. There we go. Now I think we've got it. Stubborn dimensionals. And I think I'll come over just a little bit off that designer series paper. I think I like that. Yeah, inking the edge really made a difference on that. Okay. Now let's bring some linen thread in. And this linen thread, I'm just going to wrap around my finger several times here. It's a great embellishment for fall, or I think even masculine cards. I want to say you get 5 yards, and I think it's about $5. It is one that is a real go-to for me in the fall. Okay, we're just going to put some glue dots and kind of smush that together, ruffle it up a little bit because I want that bit of texture back behind. And I think we'll just add this. I actually cut a couple of leaves, but we'll just add this to the back of our leaf. And you could really do it either way. You could put it on the front. But this is how I think I'm going to do it, kind of like I did that first card. I just want that little bit of texture showing. And then we'll put a dimensional back here, and that will help hold that too. And just add this over here beside our sentiment. Just kind of zhuzh it a little bit, get it where I want it. Then I have some crumb cake leaves and one that I punched from copper because there's copper in this paper. It's a gold leaf on this one. So again, we'll grab some glue dots. And we'll just put one of these little guys here. So pretty much recreating that first card, but just with a little bit of a twist, right? Love, love, love this paper. Okay. Well, I think we're done with the card. That turned out really pretty, didn't it? Just the B side, or the opposite side of the paper. So I also want to go ahead and decorate this envelope too. And I had a little strip of this mint macaron with the foiling paper. I want to say it's about 6 inches by about 2 1/4, 2 1/2. So that is the perfect size to put on the flap of your envelope. So let's put a little glue. We have a new motto of no naked envelopes, y'all. So we have really stepped up our game and been decorating envelopes for the past couple months. And I just love that touch. I know when I go to the mailbox and I realize that it's a handmade card that I'm pulling out of the mailbox, and then it's got that little sneak peek of what's inside, whether there's stamping on the envelope or a little strip of designer series paper, or even like this, we're doing the whole flap. Just makes it extra special. Then you can just come in with your snips and come around and trim off the excess. I know you've seen me do this before, and it's a favorite of mine. Just making it a little bit more special. And since this one, I'm probably going to be mailing, that's why I decided to do the flap. Plus that little scrap was laying there talking to me. Does that happen to y'all? You have those little scraps that you think, gosh, I should do something with that. Oh, how pretty. That looks good. Looks to me bragging on myself, huh? I love it. It turned out really nice. Get that little piece out. Okay, so that's our project for today. And let me go back and tell you why this card is special to me. And I think part of the reason why I've been so in love with doing fall cards, other than the fact that the Gilded Autumn Suite is absolutely gorgeous. Next Tuesday is mine and Dale's 36th wedding anniversary. So this card is the one that I made for him. And I love that I can use this beautiful fall paper because, of course, the first day of fall is the 22nd, which is our anniversary. So don't tell him, y'all. Don't show him. I'm hoping to surprise him, and I hope that he loves this card. I think he will. So hope y'all have a great week. I appreciate you being here with me today, and I hope that I inspired you a little bit. If you make a fall card, or really any project in the next couple days, I would love for you to drop a picture in the comments. I love seeing what you create. And I hope you have a great week, and I will see you back here again next Wednesday. Thank you.